People think the work that I do is just video work. Let me be honest. This isn't video work. That might be a deliverable. That might be a physical thing that you get. But this is branding. This is positioning. And so I want to talk about something. So yesterday I actually had a call with a former client who wants to kind of pick back up and do more work. And I actually didn't like my interaction on this.
I didn't really get the view. Like one video did when I focus on military, they tend to get the most views and likes and stuff, and possibly with new followers. But the other videos just didn't. Or I don't know why they just didn't really perform very well.
I didn't say the truth. She asked, or I asked her what was some things that she wanted to do differently. And she said she wanted to get more views. Views are cool. Views are cool. But that's not really what I do. The thing that I do is branding, is positioning. It makes people care about you. So when it's actually time for them to actually buy a house, that you are the person that automatically comes to mind. I've said it before and I'll continuously say it. I'm not the best videographer. There are people who are way better than me. But the thing that I'm actually good at is branding and positioning of my clients through video. And so with my client Desiree, we've had a lot of wins. And over the last 7 months or so, probably a little bit early than that, I've had people reach out to me who want to get the same results. But the reason, and I think the thing that made me want to have this conversation is that I've been actually trying to figure it out. I've been trying to figure out how this particular client was able to achieve results, make a lot of money, have people know her, and so on and so forth. But then I have a group of other clients who aren't hitting those same results. And the thing that I realize is that it comes down to there are things that this client does that these other clients and really just realtors overall are afraid to do. So let's talk about it. So what do realtors actually ask you? Of course, I had to get my questions back because I love just asking myself questions. What do realtors actually ask you for when they reach out about the work you did for Desiree? They think it's just because they want a lot of content. They feel like the thing that separates her from them is really just having content or having somebody come and film your content. Well, that's really the furthest from the truth. The videos that I do are pretty simple videos. We aren't doing anything outside the box. I'm asking her a question. She's answering a question. We're doing a couple of trendy videos. She's telling her story. She's being genuinely herself. So those are the things that are actually standing out. People aren't saying like the videos are so engaging, so high quality. I mean, they are, but it's not really the thing that I'm selling. What are they missing when they ask for just one piece? Oh God, what are they missing? Like I said, they're missing the becoming of who she is. And actually, before I kind of go into her, I feel like it makes more sense to add some context to the work that I actually have done with Desiree. And so I've known Desiree for around COVID, so I guess this makes about 6 years. And at the time, she was actually doing content for her clothing line that she had, and she had a retire spend the night bag. And we produced a visual that was kind of similar to the movie Belly, and that got a whole bunch of attention because of specific scenes in it. Got a whole lot of attention, whole lot of engagement, whole lot of distraction. And then probably after that, we might have did two more sessions, focused on the clothing line, and then she switched over and said, "Hey, I want to do real estate. I'm getting into real estate, and I need you to create a introductory video for her real estate brand." And so we did that. That did pretty well, and then she hired me to do a some content for a real estate company. That went pretty good, and she was like, "You know what? I kind of want to do something on a more consistent basis," and so we started doing that. And the thing, when we started off, we were just kind of throwing stuff at the wall, see what sticks. I didn't really have a system in place, nor did she, since she was just starting out. She was just trying to get a hang of how her real estate brand should actually look. And so we would go to model homes and we would film content. We would do just content about who she is, her brand, the standard real estate tips and tricks and all that good stuff. And we were also putting out YouTube videos at a time. That's kind of important to the store. And the reason that's important is because probably the first domino that really hit was we were doing YouTube videos. And then we decided that for a couple of videos, we were really just focusing on single women because a lot of her demographic was single women. And so we noticed out of the, let's say, 20 YouTube videos that we did, the ones that were focused on single women, the numbers of those were drastically different. Like if her regular videos were at 2 or 300, these videos were like 6, 7,000, 2,000, whatever the case may be. So it was drastically different. And so I saw that and was like, hey, maybe we should actually put a lot more focus and energy on creating content for single women. And so we did that. That was our first thing. And so not every video that we put out was like, hey, if you're a single woman, do XYZ. But every piece of content that we put out has single women in mind. So even if that was how you should actually look for a home as a single woman, what are the things that you should think about after you buy a house as a single woman? What are the things that you need to comfortably live in a house as a single woman? And like I said, that was a lot of her demographic. And every time that she had a closing with a single woman, she would highlight that. Even if it was somebody that was outside of her demographic or her targeted audience, she would still talk about, hey, this was a single man that bought a house, not a single woman. Still letting you know that her audience is single women. And so it just started to grow. And even the months where she wanted to quit, we still did content. We still was working. And one of the things that started to push it over the hill was when we did a video kind of telling her story. And that included her crying, that included just the ups and downs of where she was actually at. And at that point, make sure I remember right, that she wasn't where she's at today, of course, but she was slowly making her way back up. And then from there, we started to kick it into overdrive. We did a lot of different things. Like I said, the videos weren't anything outside the norm. We were doing trendy videos that would get good laughs. We were showing her real personality. We was talking about her life. We were doing a lot of things that just didn't fit into real estate. And so today on this video, I know I've been talking for about 10 minutes so far, but I want to kind of get into the things that we actually did to build her brand that other realtors, other service-based businesses just are afraid to do, or they feel like they do not have to do. Let me pull my notes back up. So the first thing that most realtors are scared to do is just pick one demographic that they're now talking to. I've worked with a good amount of real estate agents, and they feel like if they focus on one demographic, that they're going to leave out everybody else. And that's just not how life works. If most of the people that come to you fit a specific demographic, you already have your demographic. You're just not talking to them yet. And so when me and Desiree figured out like her demographic is single women, then we just switched a lot of things that we talked about towards single women. We know that single women, you know, 9 times out of 10 they might have a kid, so we included more kid content into Desiree's content schedule. A lot of her clients are very religious or, Christ led, so we also now include some religious or Christian beliefs into her content. We wanted people to follow along on her story because what she's doing is just bigger than just being a real estate agent. So we started to kind of do these monthly updates where she tells people where she's at in her business. So picking your demographic is one of the easiest things you could do because it just sets up how your content is going to be viewed going forward. Why did telling her real story matter as much as it did? I think it mattered because once you understand somebody's story and somebody's real and authentic story, then it makes you relate to them. It makes you connect with them. It makes everything that they do make sense. A lot of people want to be perfect. Like, hey, look at my life. Look at the Range Rover. Look at all the fly cars, the all the houses, all the vacations I have. And that's cool. But if people don't understand your heart or where you've been at, then it just looks like you're flexing and you're just flexing for no reason. So with Desiree, we told her story of what got her into real estate. What were the down moments that made her say this has to work? Show some of the hard times while she was actually working in real estate. And so when you see somebody on the come up, you root for them even more. And when they actually can start to get the house, get the cars, get the, win best real estate agent at their brokerage, you root for them a little bit more because you've seen where they actually came from. So that is why I always tell people you have to really be your authentic self and tell your true story if you're really worried about building out a brand. And what did being her authentic self at all times actually look like day to day? It was her doing videos with her son before church. It was her, she's a singer at her church, so she was actually doing videos of her singing. It was her talking truth about something that happened. It was I'm trying to give another situation. It was her being out with her friends and showing, what she's actually like. People wanted to see who she is outside of her just having pink hair. They want to be like, yo, who is this person? Because there's something about her that I like, or there's something about her that I don't like. And if the people don't like you, you're not going to be able to convince them to like you. So you might as well show yourself, show who you are, to actually bring forward the people who actually see what you're doing and want to work with you. So, how did mixing trendy content with becoming storyteller content work together instead of competing for attention? And so, right now, I feel like we are doing maybe either a video every day or 2 videos every day. And with that, the trendy videos that we were doing, like some of the TikTok reels and just the trendy stuff that's out here on social media, the key to doing those is that those bring in attention. Like no matter what, if you're doing and adding your own spin to it, it's going to bring attention. The issue though is that when people do trendy videos all the time, like that's all that they do, people don't treat you as a serious agent who's actually making money. And that's what it's all about. So when we do trendy videos, we do it with the intention is to bring in more eyes into what Desiree actually has going on. And then once you actually have new eyes on what is happening over in her world, then you can actually hit people with the realness. What's actually happening in the industry right now? What are the interest rate? What is a new community that I should check out? Why should I want to buy a home as a single woman? All those different types of concepts and ideas, it connects more because you have new eyes who are now seeing your new content, and now those people are being engaged in why they should actually buy a house or want to buy a house, or why they should hire Desiree to be their real estate agent when the time comes to actually buy a house. What does bringing people into her wins actually mean, and why did that specific piece matter? Bringing people into her wins is we really just set a goal. Most people set goals, but we set a goal. She wants to sell 50 houses. And the only way she's going to do that is if people who are on the outside are now rooting for her to be like, hey, we want to help you get there. I might not be buying the house right now, but I know somebody who's buying the house, and I'm going to definitely forward them to you. And so when you do that, you have to also let people into where you're at in hitting this goal. I did this last year when I wanted to hit my first $20,000 month. I didn't get there. The closest I got to was either 15 or 17,000. But people were asking me about like, hey, where you at on hitting your goal? I got somebody who needs some work. I'm gonna send them over to you. Or, all right, how close are you to? What do you need to do to hit your goal? And so it kind of got me thinking. It kind of got people, help me brainstorm on certain things. And so it just brings people into your world to actually help you get to the win that you actually want to hit. So that definitely helps out. Out of everything, the niche, the authenticity, the story, the mix, the wins, why was consistency the thing that made all of it compound? Consistency just matters. Everything happens once you're consistent. Like I said, me and her with the package that she has, we shoot twice a month, and we're actually going to increase that up going forward. But we're shooting twice a month, and we're producing after each shoot between, let's say, 7 to 15 pieces of content. And so she has a bank of content that she can always roll out. And the key to that is because people need to see your face. People need to see your face at all times. And even though they might not like a video that you did before, the more that you show up, the more that you're authentic, the more that you show your wins, your losses, and just the roller coaster ride of the industry that you're in, being a real estate agent, they're going to be more inclined to support you and rock with you. But that only happens if you're continuously showing up for yourself. So you have to be consistent with your output so that you can be the person that they think about when it comes time for them to actually buy a house. Um, so if a realtor is watching this and wants the same results, what's the first thing they should actually go do? If a realtor actually wants these same results, then you really need to look in the mirror and ask yourself, what brand are you building? Why do people like the brand that I'm building? Also, you have to be comfortable and authentic with yourself. Who are you? Who are you really, and not just the social media version, or not just the image of the person that you want to be. You need to show your true personality, show who you are, because that is the thing that's going to actually gravitate people towards you. So the two things that I would suggest any real estate agent to do if you're looking to build your brand is to focus on being intentional about what your brand is and who it represents and what it represents. But also you have to be true and comfortable with yourself. So yeah, I want to do this video just because I know there are a lot of real estate agents who have been reaching out to me and want the same thing, but they think it's just video. And it's not video at all. It's really how we are branding, but also how we are positioning her brand. And not saying all of that is me, is a lot of that is her. But we're also working together to make sure that we are getting these things off the ground and doing the things that we need to do to kind of keep elevating our brand. We have conversations. We talk about how to get to the next level. We talk about a lot of these things. And it's not just her popping out, coming to an open house or coming to a model home and we just filming. So yeah, I just felt like it was necessary to kind of get that conversation out because it's just way too many people reaching out to me about it and thinking it's one thing when it's something completely different. So want to do a couple quick rapid fire videos before we close this out. What's the biggest thing realtors get wrong when trying to build a personal brand? That they have to be perfect. Nobody's ever perfect. Nobody don't believe that you're perfect. And so stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to just hop in front of the camera when things appear to be all, cookies and cream for you. Like perfection, nobody believes in perfection. Nobody wants to work with perfection. Nobody wants to build with somebody who seems like they're perfect. Like, because we know that's fake. And so building out a business, especially a personal brand led business, is about being authentic, not about being perfect. Next question. What's one type of content that almost always works for real estate agents specifically? Type of content that works for a lot of real estate agents is documenting your story, documenting your journey. And the easiest way of going about doing that is really just whatever you're doing in your day, just document it. Say, hey, I have a closing. This is what's happening at my closing. I have a listing appointment. This is what's happening at my listing appointment. Really just documenting the things that you have going on. Some days going to be losses, some days going to be wins, but it's good to kind of document that. Also, another thing that always works is really just tell your story of how you actually got to where you at today in your particular industry. That always works, especially if you add photos or videos from your come up. That helps all the time. What would you say to a realtor who says, I don't have time to post consistently? If you don't have time to post consistently, then you will always be broke and poor. Now with social media, if you have the content, here's a couple things. If your biggest issue is posting consistently, you can always create the content or actually film yourself and then hire an editor to put it together. If your issue is you have the content in your phone, you just don't have time to actually post it, you can sit down with yourself once a week, preferably on a Sunday, and you can actually schedule your content. Those are the things that I do. Um, that is how you make sure that you're consistent. Like these videos that I'm putting out right now, I'm scheduling. I'm Once I finish it, I'm gonna add some titles and everything to it, some captions, and I'm gonna just schedule it, and I'm going about my life. What would you say to a real? What's the myth about needing to appeal to everybody instead of picking a lane? The myth is if you say you're for everybody, then you will get all the clientele. But the myth is, or the fact is that if you speak to nobody, if you speak to everybody, you speak for nobody. That's what it is. So the fact is, if you speak for everybody, you speak for nobody, because nobody's going to feel seen in your content, because you're talking about middle age black people, you're talking about senior citizen white family, you're talking to people who just got out of college. And so if you're doing content for all these different age ranges, demographics, what have you, different people, then nobody's going to feel seen, because every time you do a piece of content, it's all over the place. So you really need to lock in on who your demographic is. Are they women? Are they male? Are they corporate? Are they new home buyers? Are they, what are the issues that they have? Because in your content, you need to start solving the problems that these people have. And you're not going to be able to do that when you're talking to multiple demographics at one time. So the one thing I will always suggest is find your demographic. Who do you want to work for? Is it military, people in the military? Is it people who are looking for new construction? Is it single women? Is it single men? Is it families? Is it young families? Whatever the case may be, pick one, pick and stick, and help them solve their problems. So that's the video for today. That is the video for today. We run about 27 minutes. We might get cut down a little bit. But that is the video for today. Hopefully this is able to help somebody. Hopefully you're able to get something out of this. Even if you're a videographer who's trying to figure this out, of how they should actually operate in their business, or if you're a real estate agent who's trying to figure out what's the next steps for you, there's ways of going about it, but you just have to be intentional as far as your brand and how you're being positioned. So I'm Rashad, I'm 40, and I'm just trying to figure it out and helping you figure it out as well. Love y'all. Y'all be easy.